So, about a year ago, I was brutally canceled off the internet for having a billionaire father as well as political connections. But tonight, I'm going to use that privilege to expose what really happened with Erika Kirk. Because once you understand how these elite circles actually operate, the entire mystery around her becomes incredibly obvious. So, take a seat, grab a bag of popcorn because I might get deleted for posting this. So, in order to fully understand what happened with this crazy bitch, you need to understand the fundamentals of politics themselves. So, politics operate very much like a social club with a social hierarchy. So, at the very top, there are the billionaires who write nine-figure checks to the puppet class, also known as politicians, who in return give the billionaire class undying loyalty on the issues that matter to them most. Now, the most important thing for you to drill in your fucking head to really understand this story is that you may look at a President Obama, for example, and think that he is at the top of the social pyramid. That is absolutely not true. When there are these private dinner meetings with billionaires and with past presidents or potential future presidents or even a current president, they're at the very bottom of the fucking barrel. If you were to compare it to a social hierarchy in a high school, for example, the billionaire is the superintendent of the entire school board. And a President Obama, for example, is like the president of student council. He actually has no power over the school whatsoever. It's completely performative. Every single time you've ever voted, you are really voting for someone that was handpicked for you by a billionaire who doesn't want to run themselves because they are busy ruining the planet. And honestly, being a politician is seen, as I said, in these social circles, at these dinner parties, as a very lowly job. So, in summary, every single person who has made it to the level of a vice president or a president is nothing but a billionaire's bitch. So then this brings us to the fundamentals needed to understand the story of Charlie and Erika Kirk. So in 2018, a former pageant queen, Miss Arizona, Miss Erika Franzfey, stumbled into the brand new Turning Point USA office in Phoenix, Arizona. While she was there, she very quickly bumped into Charlie Kirk, who then flew her to New York City for her job interview at a burger joint, a restaurant called Bill's Burgers. At which point during the job interview, Charlie Kirk said, "Forget the interview, forget the job. I actually think I'm going to date you," because that's super professional, but that's what happened. Erika completely jumped at the chance to date Charlie because he was already anointed by the billionaire class that funded and controlled Turning Point USA as the person that was going to be the next president of the United States. This was not something that was a secret. This was not something that was implicit. This was something that was explicit in several conversations. Everybody knew that Charlie Kirk one day would run to be president, and it was a running comment, a running joke that Erika Kirk would one day be the first lady. This was her life goal, and this was the plan, and the only reason in 2021 she married Charlie Kirk. She did not marry Charlie, she married the trajectory of the presidency and proximity to power, which is what she always wanted. Erika Kirk was never a stay-at-home wife. She was the operator. She hosted the donor dinners, she schmoozed the billionaires, she sealed the checks, and she ran all of the events. This is documented. Charlie was nothing but the face. He was the schmuck, the puppet that went to university to embarrass college kids, to then clip them on social media and raise money for his political campaign disguised as a charity. That's all it ever was. And Erika was the one that upkept and fostered the relationships with the billionaire class. The agreement for them was very simple. Do what you're told, ride the youth wave to the White House, and then become president and first lady of the United States. But things didn't go quite according to plan, because somewhere along the line, Charlie Kirk grew the tiniest little piece of a spine. So in 2024, Charlie began defecting on some issues that were very important to the billionaires that owned him, specifically issues regarding foreign policy. The donors began to panic that their puppet was defecting on the only issue that actually matters to them, so they attempted to appeal to him through the only lever of control they had left, which was his wife. Erika then began pestering Charlie every single night, which put immense strain on their marriage. Support the war, do what you're told, you're ruining everything that we built together, and it actually got to the point where this is documented that a priest had to be called to pray over their collapsing marriage, which I believe detonated the night of September 9th, the night before Charlie was murdered. Erika herself admitted on national television that at 2:30 in the morning, she urged Charlie to sleep alone in their daughter's room so he could rest better before Utah. In the morning, Charlie grabbed his ring and his necklace from the bathroom and left for this huge, very important event without saying goodbye to his wife. It's been reported that shortly before his assassination, he messaged one of his friends saying, "It feels like it's over." A lot of people interpreted this as him talking about his life, but I think it's very obvious he was talking about his marriage. I think the night of September 9th, there was a fight, and Charlie and Erika decided that they would be getting a divorce. Now, I believe the only explanation that makes any sense is around the same time of Charlie messaging his friends that it's over in reference to his marriage. Erika also messaged the donors saying it's over, not only in reference to her marriage to Charlie, but in reference to all hope being lost that he would ever come back to their side politically, because he literally texted other people that he would be leaving the Israel cause. Now, from the donor's perspective, the looming divorce between Charlie and Erika not only could represent the end of Turning Point USA from an optics perspective, would be absolutely catastrophic, but also represents the fact that the very last string on their puppet, which was Erika, is gone. So they had no choice but to do what the mob does when you don't listen to them after you take their money, which is to get rid of you. And we all know what happened next. Conveniently, a 22-year-old from 142 yards away with the best shot in the entire world got rid of Charlie just in time to save Turning Point USA and anoint the new CEO, which is, of course, Erika Kirk. Just in time, right before Charlie was able to announce the divorce or the fact that he was leaving the cause. Nobody in the history of political assassinations has ever acted as bizarre as Erika Kirk. And I think that thing we're all registering as inauthenticity is actually guilt. Not only did Erika Kirk immediately accept the lone gunman narrative that doesn't make any sense for a multitude of reasons, she actually scolded the public for demanding answers and for being skeptical. The only reason she's not demanding answers is because she knows exactly who did it and why. Within 72 hours of the assassination, the domain Vance Kirk 2028 was purchased. Erika immediately sprints to take the throne of her dead husband by becoming CEO of Turning Point USA, and publicly forgives the shooter on camera before we can even actually establish if he really was the killer or if he acted alone. Bullshit, and if you believe that, you are a fucking idiot. And just this week, the orange puppet appointed her to sit on the exact same seat on the US Air Force Academy Board that Charlie once had, advising on foreign policy. The very foreign policy that created the emotional turbulence in her marriage with Charlie, leading to a divorce, and also the same foreign policy that ultimately got him killed. 2028 is already written. You can expect to see her name on the VP shortlist. There is a reason they are marketing her as the widow that overcame tragedy, and Erika is finally getting what she married for all along.